about PSA. Like, are we going to talk? Are we going to beat a dead horse? Look, if you like it, you like it. Throw your money away, burn it. I don't care. It's your money, bro. I mean, if that's what you like, that's what you like. There's a term the high pop professor uses. I'm slabnostic, meaning I don't care where I collect cards. I could care less.
Hey guys, welcome back to the 1,000 Card Project. I'm your host, McKeefery. Super excited about having Lou on. Lou is LouRok TV on YouTube. I think he's been doing it for 5+ years, 6 years, something like that. Just a super, what draws me to Lou is just his pure passion for collecting. I think it's awesome. I think when he talks about his cards, it just feels different on YouTube than a lot of other people. So I appreciate that. I think that's awesome. I think that's what's the heartbeat of this hobby. He's a super collector of Clemente, New York Yankees, vintage, just a little bit of everything. Man, I'm excited to have you on the show and talk little cards here.
I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate the kind words. I take on YouTube or social media. I truly did it in the beginning to connect with other collectors. So when I do a video, when I do post something, I treat it as almost like a Zoom call. Like I'm talking to the homies, I'm talking to the friends, you know what I'm saying? So like you'll see a lot of my friends who watch YouTube, a lot of the subscribers I have, some of their favorites are like the bourbon ramblings when I'm having a little adult beverage at night and, I'm watching a game or a thought will come or something I've been pondering over the week about the hobby. And I'm just talking from the top of the dome, talking from the heart. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes I'll say something that makes sense for some people, that resonate with some people. But yeah, I'm just having fun, and I think I try to be as genuine as I can. I don't talk about anything I don't know. I don't try to stay with trends. But I've been doing this a long time. Don't let the baby face fool you. I'm 44. And I've been collecting since like 3rd grade. So I've been in this game, the hobby, for a long time. So seen some things, experienced some things, and I just like to collect, really.
Yeah. That authenticity comes out in big ways. I mean, even, you talk about your family all the time and how they support you in the hobby, which is awesome. And even from your wife picking up different kind of grill pieces for you, which I think is really cool. And I would echo that. I think you do a great job, I think, of recognizing other content creators that are in the space and their contributions, but you don't do it in a way that's just like giving everybody their flowers all the time. Like you'll call people out too, not in a negative way, like in a respectful way, but you'll point things out. And I was going to save this question for later on in the episode, but I think it's it's timely. You have a say in all your videos that I think should become a segment in your videos. I think you should do like almost like an ESPN segment. But you always say, "Come on, bro!" Like, "Come on, bro." I think you should have a segment that is "Come on, bro," in every video. But that was gonna be one of my questions. Was what's one thing about the hobby right now that you're like, "Come on, bro"? Like seriously, like what are we doing?
Talking about PSA. Like, are we going to talk? Are we going to beat a dead horse? Look, if you like it, you like it. Throw your money away, burn it. I don't care. It's your money, bro. I mean, if that's what you like, that's what you like. There's a term the high pop professor uses. I think he's the first one I heard use. I like it. I'm slabnostic, meaning I don't care where I collect cards. I could care less. I think it's hilarious when someone who has a PSA 9 that you could get for $100, good money, nice card, but they'll upgrade it for a 10 and it's $2K. But if you cover the numbers up and you just hold it, like pick the 10, pick the 9, it's the same thing. But because one says 10, one says 9, you're going to drop 20x on it? Like, to me, that doesn't make sense. I'll use the extra 1900 and get me something dope like a dang Richie Ashburn 49 Bowman, a 48 Bowman Yogi Berra, a 54 Ernie Banks. Like, that's how my mind works because I collect. I'm not really in the flipping culture. I understand it. The thing is, on my day-to-day work, family, I deal with a lot of stress. Why would I want my hobby that I use to relax and de-stress and worry about when put money into things is a stressor. So I don't want to make my hobby into a job. That's why I love YouTube. I use it as a distressor. I use it to talk to my friends, people who follow me. And I think that's why a lot of people, like I said, I've been doing this 6 years, a little over 6 years, and a lot of channels have come and gone. Some great channels. And you know how anything is with social media and, the drama or, someone will get a couple negative comments. But that's the beauty about where we live. I mean, you could disagree. We could have debate. I was in the military. I mean, that's what we fought for, right? So people get their feelings hurt, people lose interest. I just keep it a buck. And but yeah, this PSA thing, the whole grading, look, PSA's taking over. They took their closest competition, they swallowed them up. They're gonna make a boutique. That's gonna dissolve in another year, 2 years maybe. And
Right.
people are worried about the values of their card. Crack it, submit it to PSA, crack it, put it in a I love these Mag Pros. Just create your own,
Yep.
That was the dream card. That was my Mickey Mantle when I was a kid. So I just brought that out just to show you some of the stuff I loved then and what I love now, but we could get into that later.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good segue. I was going to talk to you because I mean, you're 44, I think said 45 years old, something like that. But
Yeah.
like, I mean, you're talking 49, 50, 51 cards, like
Oh,
things that were before you were alive. Like, at what point in your collecting journey did you say, you know what, I'm going to make a conscious effort to go to the more vintage and maybe what do you even, because you kind of busted my balls a little bit on like vintage, like what do you even define, which I love that.
uh,
What do you define as vintage and why did you go that direction?
honestly, before my buddy John Mangini, he's pretty popular on YouTube. He calls it the boom era. This is before, Fleer got into the game, Downers got into the game. So really 1980 and prior, because Ricky Henderson's what most collectors consider the last true rookie card, because there's only one Ricky. You look at Cal, there's three. Tony, there's three. There's debate with Cal because he has the tops traded, but but you know what I mean. Ricky,
Yeah.
1980, last one. There's only one, and then after that, Sandberg has tops, Fleer, Donruss, same with all that. So that's why I consider vintage. My origin story, I was always I loved baseball at an early age. My grandfather was a big Mets fan, lived in Brooklyn for 40 years, and he taught me the game. That's why I enjoy when I consume a baseball game. My favorite way to consume it is through the radio. Just how, when you have a quality announcer paint the picture with just words in his voice, it's just something that's just you can't compare it to. So yeah, that's probably why I'm a Yankee fan. I was born in Brooklyn. I was born in Flatbush. But if my grandfather was a Yankee, I'd probably be a Mets fan because I love to push buttons. I ain't gonna, I just like to be the contrarian sometimes and just to get people's reaction. And he was a big Keith Hernandez. I was Donnie Baseball. And, we were always, not arguing, but bickering. But he taught me the game through his eyes. And I remember now, this is 90, 91. Grandfather gave me an Orlando Cepeda baseball card from 1973. Oh, the card is 1973, 90, 91. Card, I mean, it's not even 20 years old, but to me, it was the oldest card in the world. I saw it, it was all beat up. I still got the card. And I was like, wow, what is this? So that was my first exposure to a vintage card. But then as I got older, sixth grade, I had to do a project for like heroes, a typical who's a hero or someone who inspired your family or culture or something to that effect. And that's where I ran into Roberto Clemente. It's just something I do. I can't help it now. It's just Roberto Clemente. Uh, the way my father's Puerto Rican, my mom's Dominican, but the way my father spoke about Clemente, then, when I brought Clemente up to my grandfather, there was just such pride when they spoke about Clemente and the stories, the way he died, the way he lived they're like, yes, he died in a tragic way, but let's not focus on the way he died. Let's focus on the way he lived. And then I was just obsessed with Clemente. I was like, especially after, I got an A on the report, but I read everything I could. And that was in sixth grade. That Christmas was the best Christmas ever because my mother got me a 1973 Clemente card. It was his last Topps card. And that was my dive into vintage. And I didn't go after everything. I knew about Mantle, of course, because, I was a Yankee. I knew about Mays because my grandfather said he was the best baseball player he's ever seen. I knew about Cepeda because that was my grandfather's favorite player. Sandy, I know all the Mount Rushmore guys, but Clemente was my guy since I was a kid. And that was my journey into vintage because I was just buying his Topps run. That was the only thing I wanted. I didn't know anything about Cons, food issues, the Post cereals, the Kellogg's. I was like, Topps 55 through 73. I got to get them all. And eventually I did.
It's awesome. What when you go to the vintage like that, I mean, you've been in this a long time, so there's points of the hobby that was you could pick those up for peanuts compared to what they are now. Maybe
Yeah.
now, I mean, like it's not like you got a bazillion bucks every to spend on cars, but like to go really deep with some of these guys, like it gets pretty expensive. How do you balance what you love to collect with
Mhm.
just the value of that and putting resources to that, at the current state of the union with the hobby?
I'm a Hall of Fame collector. I mean, Harold Baines is a Hall of Famer. His card could be found for $5. Jeff Bagwell, Hall of Famer. Especially a lot of the new Hall of Famers, their stuff is cheap. And you can get their stuff in PSA 10s if that's your thing for under $100. Burt Blyleven, get into, I already had a nice cherry Burt Blyleven. I was afraid to send that in the mail. So I went on eBay, I went on the Bay, and I looked him up. His 71 Black Beauty, the 71 Tops, which I think is a premium, is a favorite set with a lot of collectors. Nice condition. I would say if I sent it in to be graded 4.5, 4 maybe, it was nice. I got it for under $10. 71 Tops, Burt Blyleven, Hall of Famer. Oh. Is he a Mickey Mantle? No. Is he a Sandy Koufax? No. Is he a Bob Gibson? No. But a Hall of Famer is a Hall of Famer. Jim Cott. I mean, if you are surgical in your collecting, you could find deals. But like anything else, the popular guys, the main headliners are going to demand, like Mickey Mantle. I'm not going to buy too many Mickey Mantles at car shows, the National. You'd be better off trying to find, buy from a collection, buying, Facebook Marketplace, buying a collection from somebody and getting it in a bulk deal, get a whole bunch of stuff you don't want to get a deal on the Mantle because now everyone just sends everything to PSA, and if they get a decent grade, it's going to be through the moon. And like I said in my last video, one of my pet peeves, another, come on, bro. Like, how are you going? So we put so much faith in PSA, all these experts, but they send back the card and you don't agree with the grade. You're like, oh, they undergraded it. It should be a 6. It came back a 4. But you know what? It's a nice 4. So I'm still going to put the price of a 6. Like that drives me crazy because it's well centered, but the technical grade says 4. But you
Right.
don't agree with that, but it's a 6. But when they come back with a 6, you're still charging astronomical prices. So it's like you know, it's a catch 22. It's like whatever. So if you're patient and have a plan, yeah, you could get some of these big cards, but sometimes I don't have the patience to wait a year to get, what's a big card I want? A 49 Satchel Page. That would be phenomenal.
That's one of my
49
guys.
Bowman.
Yeah.
Yeah, 49 Bowman is a set that I freaking love. I don't think it's underrated. A lot of people talk about it now, but at a time, I don't think people realize how great of a set that was. I mean, Jackie Robinson's rookie cards in there, Page's rookie cards in there, Roy Campanella's rookie cards in there, Gil Hodges. I mean, it's just phenomenal, just riddled with Hall of Fame rookie cards. So, has a splash of color in there as well. I just love it. I got a couple of those to show you a little bit later, but yeah, I just love that.
Satchel Paige, Kansas City Monarchs. That's
Yeah,
one of my favorites.
that might be a retirement gift to myself one day. catch out, catch out my sick leave. Get that instead of a gold watch. Get that for myself.
Well, again, if you watch your videos, like you always see the card room in the background and just how cool that is. And there's value there, right? You might have gotten into it maybe at different levels in different ways and all that, but I would assume that most of those have increased in value just because of
Yeah,
vintage and those players. When I'm looking at, like we talked a little bit off camera about, like I'm doing the low end liquid to pay for the Hall of Fame football, not the vintage football, the Hall of Fame football. But what would your advice be to me if I'm wanting to be conscious of both the value and that potentially increasing and chasing those Hall of Famers where, like you said, like the Mickeys and the Koufaxes and that's there, but like there's a lot of players that are Hall of Famers that don't have that kind of premium that you can pick up pretty good right now, but will probably increase. What's your advice to the person that's maybe wanting to go vintage, and where do you start and what do you look for? And if you are concerned about a little bit of value,
Now, what would I would tell a collector or someone who wants to go into the business of selling cards?
I think it's more. It's not even. I think collector, but conscious of the value and wanting that to increase over time.
Well, for me, like, don't get it twisted. I enjoy my cards. The only time I really focus on value is when I'm buying something, honestly. I let my wife, when I'm, at the pearly gates, I'll let her worry about it one day. I mean, people are like, oh, I grade for this and make it easier for the wife to sell, this and the other. It doesn't matter to me. Well, she's good with that stuff. She bought a lot of stuff, so I'm sure she can handle it. Not to get all. But what I would tell a collector out the gate is buy what you enjoy, because that's why we collect. You want to enjoy what you are doing. Don't be chasing Mickey Mantle if you're a dang Dodgers fan. You know what I'm saying? Don't chase Mantle or Aaron um, if you have no interest in those teams or cards. But like me, I love history. That's why I gravitate to Hall of Famers and or people who are instrumental to the game, like a Kurt Flood. But if you are looking to supplement to get the bigger cards, then you could do talked about before. You could buy the lower tier rookies, because there's always a collector looking for those. Find nice, clean, like the Burt Blyleven. Find a nice, clean, ungraded card of and send it in, because there's going to be enough margin where you could buy. Like I told you, that Blyleven. I'm always real harsh with my grades because I don't like to set myself up for failure. So I rather, you know what I mean. So when I
Uh,
do get some, if I do send it in, it's higher than I expect. It's a bonus. But like if you get a Blyleven or a Mini Minoso or a Jim Cott rookie card, and you get it ungraded, you could probably get all three of those cards for 150 bucks. You get them graded, you're getting 5, 6s, 7s, those collector grades, investment grades. You want 2, 3 extra money. I mean, grading is and will be key if you're trying to buy cards to later flip, sell, to get into bigger cards. And I have buddies who do that all the time, and they're not necessarily buying Hall of Famers. They're just buying collections. They're going through the bulk, picking out dimes, the little diamonds in the rough, making sure they're clean, send it off, grade them, and then the bulk of it, they'll sell on Facebook Marketplace, get rid of it, because there's always an audience for that. There's always a collector for that. People starting off in the hobby, kids, you just want get rid of the bulk of it. And then the few precious diamonds that they get, they sell it on eBay or whatnot, or collector to collector. Collector to collector is the best way to do it, because you cut out all the middlemen, you cut out all the fees.
right.
That's why, Facebook Marketplace is popular. The Facebook forums are popular. You vouch for somebody and, the price is the price. eBay's not taking their 15 to 20%. These auction houses aren't taking their cut. So there's a couple different techniques, but to me, that's the easiest way. If you like me, I'm pretty confident I could go buy a collection, go through the collection in a day, pick out the 10% that's worth something, get rid of the bulk in a yard sale, Facebook Marketplace, just get rid of it. And then, clean up the cards, not alter them, just, make sure they're sharp, make sure there's no fingerprints, send them off to grading, and hope that the grader's having a good day that day. Hopefully, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's objective or
So I agree with
subjective,
that, 100%.
So, I mean, I could think the card is a 9 all day, but if the grader's having a bad day, his girl just broke up with him, he woke up on the wrong side of the bed and gives you a 7,
No
it's
doubt.
all relative, my friend.
One of the things you've gotten into lately that I think is something I'm super interested in is the TTM stuff. For those that don't know what TTM is, what is that? And then what's drawn you to that? Where do you see the opportunity with that?
TTMs are through the mail. And shout out to my boy Eddie at Cardboard Chaos. Excellent YouTube channel. been a friend of mine in the hobby world for a few years now. And he's been telling me, bro, you love, like, I love autographs. I mean, I love autographs. I love showing cards. Here's a Willie Mays. This is one of my favorite sets, Leaf Limited. Beautiful Willie Mays. Hank Aaron joint. I love autographs. And I love Hall of Fame rookie cards. And I've never put the two together just because I don't know. I thought it was a lot of work. I thought it was trouble. I didn't want to send my cards for the risk of losing them because it is a gamble. I mean, you're trusting the U.S. Postal Service. But yeah, I've sent cards in. For instance, my latest return was a Fergie Jenkins, and this one was in nice shape, OC, but I would say it's a 5. Corners are sharp, but Fergie for like $40 sent it back. Took 2 weeks. He's a known TTMer. And the thing is, I already have all these autographs. All the people I'm sending off to, Fisk, I sent off to, Jim Palmer, I sent off to, I have all their autographs. But what I don't have is their rookie card autographed. And to me, it seems like after all this time collecting, that's why I love this hobby, man. It's like you can always find something that inspires you, excites you. Like, I never put 2 and 2 together. I love autographs. I love rookie cards. I've never thought about sending in a rookie card. Now, I was a little worried because the Dominican Dandy, I did not want to send this card in, but I did. He
Yeah,
lives in
pretty cool.
Miami and he signed it beautifully.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, and he's a known TTMer. So all the people I've sent to are known. Um, and I'm confident because I've been collecting autographs for a while now. I'm confident with how these autographs should look. And again, I got other autographs. People, you could get, if you want a Jim Palmer autograph, you could get one. And that's
Sure.
spot on. Yeah, I
That's
mean, he's
cool.
a few bucks. Fergie was $40. Marichal, the Dominican Dandy, is 20. And one of my other main PCs, Hall of Famers. I love Latino Hall of Famers just because of the culture, the history, the barriers they had to go through. Uh, man, here's the Burt Blyleven I was talking about. Bought that
Oh,
on
yeah.
eBay for $10, bro.
Wow.
And then I sent it in for another 20.
It's a good autograph too.
And, yeah, sick, dude. And he lives in Fort Myers. So that's another beauty about living in Florida. The turnaround time is not as long as my buddies in Cali. So they're a little jealous because I'm like, oh, I sent to Fisk like 10 days ago. So I should be getting something soon. Goose is still a beautiful autograph.
That's
Classic.
awesome.
So
So when
yeah.
you got into this, I know that there's some different services and some different things out there, but somebody that's interested, how would they go about finding those services to find those emails and or mailing
Yeah.
addresses and all that?
So I will recommend because I love giving credit when credit's due. I've never won. That's another come on, bro. I hate people and I'll keep it to myself. I've said stuff and then I've seen videos right after where they're saying what I said and they're punning off like it was their idea or their,
Oh, yeah.
light bulb moment. But also other friends in the hobby who are, pretty big in the hobby, they'll say something and then someone will just rip the idea and not give them credit. So Eddie's Cardboard Chaos. Eddie's Cardboard Chaos, go to his channel. He has a how-to TTM video. Phenomenal guy, phenomenal collector, knows what he's talking about. But there's websites, and it's not expensive. It's like $15. I want to say it's this, let me see, sportscollectors.net. 1 year subscription is $15. I'd go on Facebook. There's TTM Facebook groups, and on there, they have easy rules to abide by. But on there, you can get information. You can connect with other collectors, and I'm lucky because I have a lot of friends who been doing TTMs for years. Just Call Cards is another one. Alan, he's new to YouTube, but he has been very gracious with his time and helped me out a lot. Yeah, I mean, once you get into it, like anything else, there's a community in this hobby. TTMers, Hall of Fame collectors, Negro League collectors. Just then, your individual teams, Yankee collectors, Mets collectors, Dodgers. You will find your tribe in this hobby if you really want to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I think it's a unique way. Again, it just connects you to that athlete in another way. I think that goes beyond just getting a copy in the mail from
Yeah.
somebody in the middle, you know. For the people, again, I think there's also, again, there's value there associated with that, right? That
Yep.
autograph on that card, you know, find to maximize that value, right? Is that PSA DNA
I was about
certification?
to say PSA, DNA certification. Yeah, you could get GSA. GSA is a respectable name in the hobby. But again, PSA DNA, I have looked because when I'm looking up these rookie cards, in the search engine, autographed versions of those cards, the ones that command the most money is PSA DNA. And there's even tiers to that. So if you just get the basic PSA DNA where it says trading card, that's like a tier down from the dual service where they'll grade the card, put the card name like 19, what was it? Like a 1961 Juan Marichal on the flip. Like if the name and the card is on the flip with the grade and then the grade of the auto, that's a higher premium when you're selling the card.
Yeah.
Um, when you're autograph collector, you want the autograph to be bold. The card is almost secondary. You want a nice card. You don't want something that looks like it was beat up, ran over, or anything like that. You still want a good representation of the card. I'm a big registration guy. I love a good photo, but you don't mind if a corner is ding here. There might be a little bit of a crease there because you want a nice bold autograph. You want good. Um, if it's an old school card, I don't mind the old school ballpoint pen. That actually is to the era. That looks great. It won't fade. A good blue Sharpie. A blue color Sharpie is always the premium, what most people want. But sometimes different cards will get like a silver Sharpie and looks good, black Sharpie, but blue Sharpie is the way to go for most cards. Like anything else, there's tiers to it. There's levels to it. But PSA
Yeah.
DNA is the way you want to maximize your money if that's the route you're going.
Is there anything that you have to do to provide any kind of evidence to PSA DNA that
No, they got their
they go
experts. You
through the
just fill out
process?
the form of the player. But yeah, from my understanding, my buddies who have done it, they've sent albums and pages and they'll just put the player's name, the page number, and they have their experts. They have their analysis. They look at pen strokes. They'll look at speed. They'll see if someone was trying to go too slow, like they traced a actual autograph. Cause, I've had some experience with that, people forging autographs or signatures, trying, fraudulent behavior. And there's, you're looking at pen strokes, you're looking at, where the pen was resting. But that's also part of like little psychology too, which is one of my degrees that I just love that aspect because there's so much you could tell from going down another rabbit hole, signatures, were they angry? Were they in a rush? Yeah, it's just different things, slants to it. Yeah, yeah. Autographs are pretty fascinating when you think about it, but yeah, now that autographs, rookie cards, put them together, I love it. I love it. I love
Yeah, I think it's something I think that you've got me motivated to go down that rabbit hole a little bit for
it.
sure.
Yeah, I don't see it doesn't hurt. It enhances. I love stuff that like YouTube enhanced my hobby. Like I always had fun collecting, had a couple buddies. Everyone talks sports. They'll come to the man cave and they start seeing the cards and the conversation kind of dies. They tell you typical questions like how much is this? How much is that? How many of those do you have? There's not really a deeper conversation like, all guys talk sports like at the sports bar, but when you talk cards, they really don't know. So when you talk to another collector, it just enhances your hobby and getting the autograph on a rookie card enhanced it to I'm just enjoying it so much. Just doing research, looking up addresses, trying to see who's good at TTMing, who's respectable because, Alan Trammell does not sign his cards. He uses a laser pen. Yeah. So you gotta be careful with other people. But that's the beauty about having your tribe, your community, because people have done the research or people will reach out to you and be like, hey, just so he's not signing he's not good. I'm sorry. He's not great with fans who send in mail. You have to send it through his foundation or you have to wait for a private signing. So things like that is great knowledge to know. And
Yeah.
they help you out with that on Facebook, face groups and stuff like that.
I think what you said earlier, I think when it's a personal collection card, who cares what slab it's in, right? I love the fact that you put it in your own slab with your own logo and then you've got this story that is the journey of finding the card matched with you touching it, that athlete touching it, and the connection with that. I think that's really cool. I think it's something that again, you've motivated me to go down. We end the show here with some quick hitters here. So give me a card you'll never sell.
Car I would never sell.
It's probably most of your card.
Yeah,
Which one? If you're
probably.
running out of the house, which one would you grab?
Well, I don't have it with me. There's 2 cars I would never sell. My 73 Clemente, the one my mother gave me for Christmas, best Christmas ever, and this one right here this was part of Clemente's personal collection,
Wow.
and got the provenance on the back when they sold it at auction. But yeah, this was Clemente's, and he had like 200. I'm sure it was so he could give them out and everything like that. But yeah, to have something that Clemente owned, I would never sell it. And the 73. Those would be the 2 I will keep.
What's one that you don't have that I know you got your list of 10 that you want to get before you retire or whatever. You checked off one. Give me the top one on that list.
The top one on my list to me is the ultimate rookie card, true rookie card, 51 Bowman Mantle.
What's obviously you've done content and you're in that world as well. Like give me 2 or 3 of your favorite content creators.
John Mangini. I enjoy Eddie's Cardboard Chaos. I give love to a couple. Oh, Double D, vintage baseball cards.
And then with your own content, you're really open with just kind of where you're at with the channel and all the different things that you're kind of going on. Where do you see you taking your channel and your focus with that here in the future?
It's going to keep it consistent, keep it fun, keep it light, try to educate when I can. But really, my channel's really for me, reach out to the homies, my friends, subscribers, and treat it as such. Honestly, it's like I told a buddy of mine and I told my wife, in the beginning, it was to reach out to the community, trying to find other collectors, like-minded individuals. But as I get older, we get sappy and my daughter's looking at college. My son's already in college. And this is like the new way to do home videos. I hope one day, like I talk about my family a lot. My little one, I call her Bob on here. A lot of people know her. She opens packs with me and she talks about Clemente when she can and Judge. But you could see her. She's 10 years old, my baby. I've been doing this 6 years. You could see her when I was pushing her around in a Walmart shopping cart in the second video to now. Like you could see her growing in these videos. And to me, that's just something that was unintentional at first and it's priceless to me. Like, love it. And I hope one day that when she's older, she can look back on these videos and remember some of the good times with her old man.
That's awesome. I'm glad you said that because it's definitely a way that I've looked at content that I've created through the years. There's almost a way for the kids to go back and watch that as well. I think that's fantastic. I would just echo. I mean, again, if you're not following LouRok TV on YouTube, you should definitely do that. And his authenticity shines through in this video and all the videos that he does. But you feel like a friend when you're watching your videos, which is awesome, man. So appreciate you what you do and how you do it, and really enjoyed this episode. Thanks so much.
I appreciate it. At the end of the day, we're all just nerds, bro. We're just nerds.